Good evening.
Wow.
Well,
hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's a long run live stream and podcast, the final live stream of 2021, because we've already recorded two to take us up through the end of the year. So this is the last time for a couple of weeks that you can drop your messages in and we can have a good chat about all sorts of things that you want to talk about running related. Bit of a team change today. The subs board's gone up. Bit of a change of formation as well, because Toby is not available due to work commitments and transport issues that we'll come on to in a little minute. So Chris is in charge of the technical department.
So apologies now, and I'm just glad, Wilco, that I somehow managed to work out the opening. If you realise, you would have, anybody who's watching this live would have noticed that you saw all of us before we went live, because I made a complete cock up, basically. But anyway, yeah. So and we've also got, and who else have we got?
Oh, well, we've got Simon from the Hartford and Broxbourne group, known as New Russ. Meaning says there is a speedy vacancy in the Broxbourne group now that Russell's gone down to Wales. So Simon's going to be the man to not only fill the breach here with Toby's absence, but fill the breach on a Tuesday and Wednesday night and be the shining light in the East Herts FORDY Runs group. Thanks for coming, mate, and bailing us out.
Not a problem.
Lovely.
Look, and he's got antlers.
Yeah, we particularly like his headgear. He's looking superb. Obviously, getting into the fancy dress a little bit early with the run through 10K at the Olympic Park, now only 14 hours away.
But I would say, Wilco, it won't. People will go, "What are you talking about?" Because remember, this is also a podcast.
Yeah.
So for the people listening, Si's got two antlers. Is that the right
antlers.
word?
He's got a light in his front window, which is shining behind his sofa. And we've is bullied too strong a word? Perhaps bullied is a too strong a word, but we've encouraged him to position himself onto the sofa.
Yeah,
so it looks like he's got two massive reindeer antlers coming out the top of his head.
And Al is asleep on his bed.
Yeah, it's early night at the home, and Al is already in bed.
It's not my bed.
Oh,
after my day today.
What do you want to say, mate? I mean, I know we've got a bit of an end of term feel, and it's a bit like bringing in games, but you might have just taken the frivolities a little bit too far there, mate.
So, Al, what have you been doing? Tell the viewers and listeners. Hang on, before you do, because you look like you're about to fall asleep, is everybody, as always, we want to hear from you. So we want comments about what you're up to this weekend. We want to hear from you. We've got some questions coming later about easy pace running and that kind of stuff. Look, anybody, got any advice about running easy and running, low heart rate and all that kind of stuff, stick them in the comments, Facebook or YouTube. I did Toby's job properly in the respect of I've put the thing you can connect up on Facebook so we know who's like talking to us. I've done that, Wilco, so box ticked.
Right.
And but yeah, stick your comments, stick your questions in, stick anything in that you want to know about New Russ. For example, is he actually a moose? Like, he's got his antlers coming out of his head. Or, like, if you want to know, is Al actually going to fall asleep? Let us know in the comments what time during this podcast and live stream is Alan actually going to fall asleep. So that would be also, let us know. How do you get back to running? Oh, Christ. Yeah, okay. We'll come on to COVID and Omicron.
Yeah.
Well,
it's been in. You might have heard it. It's been on the news a bit, so we might talk.
But anyway, Al, what you been up to?
Well, it's been a hell of a week. It's not involved any running, and it got off to a good start, and then it ended all a bit comical today. I've been in the gym. I've been doing spin class after spin class, and now what's worrying is I'm now qualified to be able to take you all on a spin experience, Peloton style, Soul Cycle. I've got it all. I've got all the moves, all the jumps, all the spins, and all the.
We should sell tickets for this. This sounds like
yeah. I mean,
excellent social.
Yeah. So email in, Wilco, to what's the email address?
longunshow@gmail.com.
Send me your track listings. I need to put my spin playlist together.
Yeah. Send us an email if you would like Al to do your spin class.
And that's why I might be asleep before 7:45.
Yeah. And if anybody puts Bohemian Rhapsody, they won't be getting a Christmas card from me.
Oh, he hates that song. He hates that song. Right.
Apparently, you can spin to any song, so that's my challenge. to try and put bow wrap in there somewhere.
Well, I mean, you could have Queen. I like to ride my bicycle, I suppose. That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Right, I got rid of that. So I'll be
like that.
I'll be putting all this stuff up the bottom that Toby does, and I couldn't get rid of any of it.
Oh.
I'm going to break the system.
Yeah, it's a little bit end of term. We're bringing in games, really. We can't say that we've been ultra prepared on what we're going to do tonight, but we'll try and blag it as usual. The big someone says it's not a 40 runs without Toby top left. We better talk about Toby then, haven't we?
Yeah, well, actually, it leads. Hang on, let me just get rid of this message. It actually leads nicely on because, boys, big news. And I mean, I've not told the boys deliberately before we came on air because there's been some big news in the getting the pod a sponsor, even though we're not selling out, unless you want to offer us a lot of money. We're not selling out, but I had a conversation this week with a new potential sponsor. Because I don't know whether you know this, boys, or actually I think most of you do, but we'll let the listeners in. Young Toby, who's 10 years younger than me, just put that out there so everybody knows that he is 10 years younger than me. He got a new motor, right? So he's got this electric milk float thing that's got an Audi badge on, and it's got no equipment on it, but he paid absolutely the wrong price for it. Well, anyway, he's come along this week to help out at one of the junior sessions. Now, around the back of Drill Hall in Ware, there's a little car park you can get into, right? And there's a gate that you have to go through. And it is, tricky, but it's manageable. I was in there setting up the stuff and I heard this bang. I thought, what is going on here, right? So I've walked out. In between these two posts, these two big walls, was Toby in his milk float. And he looked like, I said to you the other day, he looked like a child, when they put their head through the railings and he just didn't know what to do. That's how Toby looked because he literally taken most of it out. And I took a video, right? So I'll put the video. Now, I appreciate for the podcast, it's not going to help at all, right? But I took a video of Toby's car, his brand new milk float from Audi. Now, have a look at this. So as you can see, he's giving it a fair old whack. Right? He smashed it to pieces. So my point is that one, we need to send over some parking lessons. By the way, the other thing afterwards, I watched him try and park it, and he hit the curb on the way back as well. But that's another story. But I got in touch, and Audi, the dealership that he's taking it to, potentially want to sponsor us because apparently the amount of money it's going to cost to fix that. They said we might as well end up sponsoring the podcast. So do we want to do Tobe a favour and let them sponsor so he can get the work for cheap, or do we just let him, suck it up basically?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, he's probably shown that he's not brilliant at driving this podcast, and he's not pretty brilliant at driving his car either, is he?
I mean, literally, the boy can't do anything like properly. He's just you've seen him in that. He's murder.
He's not the best in that. Remember, he nearly took the snowman out on your drive.
Oh yeah, I said about it, didn't I? Was it last week when he reversed on? We was all inside, and he's reversed up and nearly ended up in the lounge.
He took the snowman out and was nearly through the bay window into the living room.
I think it's because he can't hear it. I'm being serious, right? I think because he's got this electric motor, he can't hear it. So note to self: if you're like Toby and stupid, don't get an electric car.
Don't come to me for motoring advice. But I mean, about your superior knowledge. But yeah, it's just going to scupper one with boys because he was going to give you a lift tomorrow, wasn't he?
Yeah, that has kind of mucked us up in a way because we was reliant on our taxi service to take us to London because for anybody who's doesn't know, we're doing the Olympic Park 10K. There's loads of guys from the 40 Runs Running community, and actually, I'll just say this now. I want it's going to be. I know it's really tricky out there in terms of this COVID Omicron. Just being serious for 2 seconds. I know I banter all the time, but being serious, it is. It seems like it's rife. Yeah, it seems like it's just gone nuts. So just please, everybody, tomorrow, if you are coming to whatever race you're doing, but particularly in London where there's a large group of us and things like that, it's going to be lovely to see everyone. but please be sensible. You know, if you can avoid public transport, then do. You know, do all the things the government says and all that. Just look, I don't want anybody getting ill over Christmas. I love all of you, but just please. I think the geezer said today that, what's his name? Chris Whitty or whatever. No, that's the bloke out of Transformers. Anyway, he said, like, don't do anything unnecessary or something, wasn't it? They were saying today. So, you know, if you don't,
I think we do. I mean,
something,
obviously, you know, there's maybe transport concern. I know a lot of people who are going to plan to go on the train, but are now
just
driving. Hopefully, it's all right, you know, because I'm still going on the train. And everybody's decided to drive, so I'll probably have a carriage for myself. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, just be. There's large groups of us. We're going, you know, we could potentially be together. So just, I mean, we're all adults. You make your own choices. I'm not here to preach, but I'm only concerned for everybody's well-being as always. I just don't want
absolutely. But then, you know, we are going to be in an
oh
outside
yeah, 100%. Look, I'm still doing the event. I'm actually now classified as high risk. I don't want to get into that, but I'm now classified as high risk because of what I've got coming up. So, I've got to be really, really sensible with what I do. So, you know, I will do that event and I'll love it and I'll see as many people as I can. But, you know, that's me done effectively. I can't do any more than that.
I've got to say, I can't remember the last time I was looking forward to an event as much as this one.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I mean, I can't just wait to see some people I haven't seen for like 2 years. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me is to go and see these people, you know, friends that we used to see each other every weekend effectively at races and stuff. So that's going to be amazing. But yeah, to finish off, I just don't want anybody getting ill. So just take care of yourself, guys. All right. So that's all I want to say on that. But anyway, more importantly, New Russell. Are you going to sit there or are you going to add any value?
No, I'm going to add a little bit of value. I didn't want to just jump in where I'm not wanted.
Yeah, it's not a spectator sport when you come on in.
Well,
mate. You have to join in.
Yeah, let's ask in the comments. Do we think, who's better looking? Do we prefer to look at New Russ or do we prefer to look at new Toby, old Toby? Well, whatever Toby, new crashed Toby with his crashed car. So which one do you prefer? I know ours disappeared. Someone must have come round to change his bag or something because he's disappeared. He must have. By the way, boys, did you see the thing he sent me earlier? I'm not going to say what it was because I want to get further into the podcast before I mention this. But did you see the meal he sent us earlier?
Oh, the McDonald's.
Yeah, the McDonald's. But obviously, I'm not going to mention those words because I know people are waiting for me to say that word. By the way, people, look, something to look forward to. I know we very rarely have anything to look forward to on this podcast because we don't plan anything. But I've got to be careful because I don't put my address up just in case I get one of those random stalkers come around my house. Yeah. That's usually Toby, by the way, is the random stalker. But me and Wilco got sent these. Now, Toby has also got sent one of these, but because Toby's out on the sauce tonight, and by the way, run through, if you're listening, which you probably ain't, but I hope you are, I hope you've got loads of Portaloos because Toby's been out. And last time Toby was out, we went to Dorney and we all know what happened.
I thought he was working.
Oh, Toby, he reckons he's working. He ain't.
Loose. It's a loose term.
It's a loose term, bruv.
And we've had enough talk about Toby's loose terms on here for last a lifetime. You know, we don't really want to go down that road, do we?
Yeah, it's not. It could be.
My respect for him's gone out the window because I thought there he was slaving away the last Friday before Christmas Eve.
Slaving away. He doesn't do anything. He just sits in front of a laptop and eats. All he does all day is send me pictures of the food he's consuming. But to be fair to him, he can go out and run up and down a mountain in an hour and 48 minutes. So what do I care? You know what I mean?
He can now, though, mate. Can he do it in 10 years' time? We'll have to wait and see.
He won't be able to. He won't be able to. And he won't be able to get to the mountain because one, the car hasn't got enough charge, and two, he's probably crashed it. So anyway, but the point is that Tobe's got one. So we will be opening these at 7:45.
Yeah, we were just mentioning now that we got some posts.
Yeah, I just thought we should kind of get into the Christmas spirit, and I've sent you all a little Christmas card. And
it's from out. There you go.
Don't rattle.
No, it's not a bomb.
I did wonder.
Yeah, I'm a bit right. It's got like anthrax in it. It's not a COVID test, is it, Al, for tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh, good shout. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, make sure you do your COVID test if you're doing
Somebody's already mentioned that for an LFT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. Get yourself.
Get on that.
No, I've sent you an NFT. That's topical, isn't it?
What's an NFT?
Oh, I can't get the grips of all them, mate.
Oh, it's gone over my head. He's had a bean burger and he's full of info. Listen to him. Look. Oh, by the way, boys, Al.
Yes.
For you, they don't come in white. Look at these. I'm wearing these tomorrow. Look.
I quite like the look of the blue and red ones.
Yeah, they do look good, don't they?
Yeah,
No, I've
yeah.
sent the black
Chris
ones.
is
Look.
flashing a pair of
Oh yeah,
Adidas.
sorry, people on the podcast.
Do you want to talk us through them, mate?
Well, this is like the hottest shoe out there at the moment. This is the Takumi Sen 8. It's like a racing 5K, 10K shoe. They reckon, if you listen to some of the reviews that are unbiased and not paid for out, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They are the bee's knees, apparently. So Ben is running. If you
in
look,
comparison to their big rivals from Oregon, Nike, are they trying to raise their game then?
Yeah, it's up against the Nike. But if you watch, there's a chap who's really, really good on YouTube called, if you're into that sort of thing, apart from Chris Ford, he's quite good apparently on YouTube. But no, there's this, Ben is running, right? He's a really nice guy. He's actually out your way, he's an Essex boy. He won, I think, was it the Chelmsford Marathon or half marathon? But anyway, he does these crazy times. But he did a review on these and absolutely sung the praises of them. And I rate him in particular. So
it looks like it's got quite a deep thing under the arch of the foot.
Yeah, you've got these cutouts because it's got like these energy rods. So these are like these spines that run up there. See that? And they cut it out.
So up the base of on the main.
Yeah, they cut it out there. So you've got, and then it's just super lightweight. It's nothing. Funnily enough, right? The stack on this, I mean, it's not probably interesting for many people, but this is basically along the lines. I've not got them up there. They've moved now. But do you remember when Nike came out with like the 4%, the first sort of properly made carbon plated shoe that everyone was wearing? It's about the same stack height. So it just shows you that, you know, that's where they've gone back to where it was kind of thing.
Have you got any idea of how much they're going to retail for, mate?
No, these are out now. You can buy these. I picked these up. I got a discount code. I got 30% off of these. They almost gave them to me at 100. Well, still, what's it, load of money? And lucky enough for me, Mrs. Fool's not listening tonight. 120 quid. That
was with
they were 160. Yeah. So that's the wrong price, I think. But 120 quid, actually. Well, we'll see tomorrow. I'm going to see how fast they are.
Did they only come in black and white, or are they available in a
range? No. That's what Al was saying. They got this like blue and pink or whatever it is. It looks blinding.
And I bet they don't do size 12s.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, size. Do they do size? Our size just got a new pair of shoes. What are they, Si?
Oh, just the Go Runs Max Road 5s. Have you got a
size,
pair out?
What did you get? Did you get your size? Were you able to get those?
I got my size, and I had to get another size just to check, and then I just sent that one back.
Have you got big? You got big feet then, Si?
No, he hasn't.
No, small feet.
Oh right, really? So what size are your feet then?
Only like 8.5.
Oh. Yeah. So it's a shame because, you know, if you was
they're really good as well.
Shoes.
Really good, Al.
Really good. Sorry, we should let him. Wilco, you don't know the in joke. Al's been after those Max Road 5s for about 6 months. He can't get them because they don't do his size. Side bowls up on Thursday at club. Says, "Oh yeah, look at these. I've got 2 pairs of them.
2 pairs."
Just went online, just ordered them straight away.
So, Chris, on the trainer front, do we have a sort of season? Do they sort of like people tend to sort of launch their stuff early in the year? Are we ready for that now?
Yeah, but I think a lot of it's going to be impacted because of Corona and stuff. So, like January, you always see loads of shoes like drop. January, February, but I think also because a lot of stuff's been pushed back to October, you're going to see a lot of stuff move back, and I think a lot of it also is down to like what's going on in the world with supply issues and that. Like, so all the new, great, amazing looking shoes from New Balance. And if you want to see anything about any of the latest shoes coming, go and check out Believe in the Run on YouTube. They're an amazing channel. They're at the show in Texas. But check that out because they've got all the new shoes coming out. But all the New Balance stuff is not coming out basically until autumn, spring, summer, autumn. So it's a lot of it's backloaded because of, I think, what's going on in the world in terms of supply chains. It's the same with, I mean, ASICS have got some shoes coming out in Jan and Feb. I know, who's the other one? I think On Running have got some shoes coming out in April as well. So there's some, but it tends to be January the 1st, like, is 10 of them. And then, you know, it just, they've got their thing loaded up throughout the year. Like, you'll get. Are we
still getting sort of Brexit related issues for delivery as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is. It's a lot of it's for us. It's Brexit related. There's still that weird stuff that goes on that we get, like with Nike. I know some people are fans of Nike and not, but we get stuff in the UK before the US guys do, and the guys in the US get stuff before we do. Some of the stuff that the guys in Australia for ASICS, we don't get over here. It's just because of all the supply chain issues. And I think that's across the board for everything. But in terms of running shoes, it is a difficulty that that they're having to overcome. It is a bit of a nightmare if you're waiting for a certain pair of shoes to go. Like I don't know, like the new Alpha Fly 2. I think I mentioned it the other week. I think that's going to get potentially delayed, or when it does come out, there'll be like super limited supply.
But I'm sure it'll be a time of year where people are sort of thinking about this stuff, particularly, because you start, people will be starting to think about starting their marathon plans and things.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
Manchester, Brighton marathon plans. People are up and running. I mean, I've already seen a lot of the posts and stuff like that. And let us know in the comments. And if you're watching live or whatever, if you're doing Manchester or you're doing Brighton, and ask if there's anything we can help you with. Let us know in the comments. We'll try to do our best. I'll pick those questions up and we'll pick that up. But yeah, so a lot of the plans have started in some respects for some of the stuff that's coming in early April, or is it late April? I can't remember. When is it, Al?
I think it's late April.
Which one for which? Because I'm saving my pennies for New Balance.
Have you been listening? Have you been listening?
Of course not.
Brighton. When's Brighton?
Oh, the race. I thought you still talking about shit.
Honestly. When's his nurse going to come in and give he's had his bag done now, he needs his tablets. Yeah,
I think it's early April. But yeah, you're right. It should have started. I should be on week 2 and I'm not.
Yeah, because Manchester's the same weekend as Landmarks. Because that's why I'm having to defer Manchester, because I'm doing Landmarks.
Oh, right.
So I think that it's the same weekend.
We've got an audience. They've confirmed 10th of April, so at least someone's on it.
Yeah, we're glad somebody's on the ball a week before Christmas, because we plainly ain't.
We ain't. We're on cloud cuckoo land here. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, the only good thing, the only saving grace, of the fact is we haven't got Toby because he's too busy eating and pretending to work. Which
he's sitting there listening to us, thinking.
Yeah, of course he's sitting there listening to us.
He won't even be doing that. He won't even be doing that. He's too lazy.
He is. It's even new Russell. See, even new Russ says he's lazy. It's true though. It is true. I'm going to hammer him tomorrow in the car on the way there. The fact that I'm having to drive, I think is a liberty. I've drove him around everywhere since he got rid of that Porsche of his. I've had to drive him everywhere, and now he's got this soppy milk float that he's crashed, and I'm still having to do it because he's crashed it. It's ridiculous. The boy's ridiculous. Anyway, we'll get on. I'll tell you what. Be fair, you say that we're hanging on by whatever today, but we have actually this week, I wouldn't say prepared, that's a strong word, but I did give you boys 2 emails that we got sent this week.
Yeah, should we crack on with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think in fairness, Al, have you got them on your phone?
Yeah, but I haven't got my phone near me.
Oh. So. Have you got your teeth in? Right, hang on, I'll get it. Don't worry, Al. You relax, bruv. I'll get it.
You have a rest, Al. Get yourself cut.
Yeah, you've had a busy day. I
have had a busy day.
About inside or whatever it is.
3 change of clothes.
So while he's looking at that, Al, that's when you were sort of finishing off your PT stuff, weren't you?
Yeah. So this has been part of my level 4. So this week I've had a full day of spin class. I've had literally 3 hours of boot camp, because what it is, you in the class you deliver, and then you have to be one of the clients. So you deliver your.
So you're in a circle all the time.
Yeah, it's like deliver a 30-minute boot camp and then be a participant in a boot camp for the next 2.5 hours. And I've also done exercise referral. So I was Fat Max, the rugby player, for Thursday morning with my diabetes. So it's been a real interesting but quite demanding week in terms of trying to think about how you are. And there is a serious point to it in terms of encourage people that have got conditions that are kind of life-changing and bringing them back into the fitness fold. So I'm quite excited to kind of get into that, the exercise referral stuff, because I was sitting there probably Wednesday night prepping for Thursday, and the case study I had to coach was in effect me 5 years ago. And it wasn't until I was kind of sitting and looking at his case history going, that was kind of me. Yeah. So it was quite emotional then. Yeah, quite humbling, but also part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing in terms of giving something back. Obviously, as a paid coach, it's not going to be all free.
Yeah, you got to pay for it.
I mean, yeah, you've done the qualifications there. I mean,
you're not giving it back; you're selling it back.
Get that in. Yeah, it's not free. I'm a nice bloke, but not that nice.
Yeah, I'm glad it's done well, mate. Anyway, I'm sure we'll have regular updates in 2022 on how things are going. Chris, you dug them out yet, mate?
Yeah, I was just
Good
reading.
still then. Did we feel that okay, Wilco?
Yeah, excellent. It's like it's
No one
planned.
noticed. Good.
Yeah, no, I was just seeing Claire. Big shout out to Claire and Paul. They're not going to be there tomorrow because of what's going on in the world. They've got stuff going on, so they're just looking after themselves. So yeah, big shout out to Claire and Paul. I was looking forward to seeing both of you tomorrow, but don't worry about it. I think
Yeah, I hope Paul's
right
just done his couch to 5K.
Yeah, but make
looking forward to
Paul-
his first 5.
Yeah, Claire, make Paul go out and do 5K anyway.
Yeah.
Right, so Paul, sorry about that, bruv. Right, firstly, shout out time. Big shout out time. Right, here we go. Ian Smith, he tagged us on Strava, and like New Russell does, he was doing Sunday night miles with the Long Run podcast. So good lad, well done. So tag us if you're on Strava and you're listening to the Long Run podcast. Then tag us. Don't tag us if you're listening to the Long Run podcast in the car because you shouldn't be texting while you're driving.
No,
That's all you
very
guys
true.
out there. I've got like a sensible cap on tonight, don't you think?
Yes.
I think it's when you get into production, you become more sensible. I've not had a go at anyone yet. I've not had a rant and rave. I've been quite nice to Al. I thought I was gentle on Tobe. So, you know.
You could have been,
anyway.
you could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So maybe it's the tablets. Right. Here we go. Right. First email. Oh, hang on. Should we do the email in graphics? Oh,
Got new graphics.
I'll type. Watch this. Watch this. Be fair. Be fair. Did you like that?
Very good.
I think you spent a lot of time on that.
I think
Well-
they're so old, we don't have to pay any copyright, don't we? Because they're so old, those images.
I think so.
Classic, mate. Retro. That's what they are.
I was impressed by it.
They're retro.
This is the first time Si's seen the live show. Si, are you kind of loving it or you kind of regretting it?
No, I think it was really good. I think that you spent a lot of time on it, clearly.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
And 2 minutes max, and maybe even 1.
Yeah.
It was good, but
It was good, wasn't it? Anyway, should we carry on? Right, so we've done the thing. So emails, here we go. So big shout out, Andy. I don't know whether this is anonymous, so we'll keep it as just Andy. Hi guys, as always, loving the content. Keep up the good work, Andy. We love you. And Andy, did you know that we are unverified, but the biggest running podcast now? We've taken over the continents. We are now the biggest running podcast globally. Obviously, that's unverified, but we are everywhere. So thanks very much, Andy. Right. I'm staying marathon training for London next year. Went out for a 10K at a training plan suggested for a sub 4. Okay. Be interested to know, Andy, where you got this plan. I hope it's not one of mine. Which was 5.27 kilometers. But I really struggle to slow down and run easy when I go out. The 10K ended up being basically too fast. Okay. Long and short of it is, any tips for running easy, slowing down? And also, calf sleeves, do they work? Are they worth investing in? Let's just do the calf sleeves first, because I think that's the easy bit. See what I did there with the easy and the easy running? I know. Let us know in the comments if you run in calf sleeves and do you find a benefit. If you're listening to this on the podcast, Wilco, what's the email address?
longrunshow@gmail.com.
Hang on, let me put it up on the screen. Where's his thing here? It is easier when he's not out doing work. I have to be honest.
He's on about his 4th pint now.
Yeah, there we go. Look.
Okay,
Right. So, calf sleeves. Al, any thoughts on calf sleeves?
So I do wear them. I wear them on any long runs above 13 miles. So if I'm doing a 10K or even a 10 miler, probably not. There might be a bit of placebo effect. I always found compression socks too restrictive on the foot. So I've been able to wear normal socks, but then have the support on the calves really helpful. I've got massive calves, so I don't know if that's it's a hindrance in that not every calf sleeve fits me. But in effect, what I think it does, it kind of just helps regulate the blood flow, particularly if you're starting to pick up lactic acid. That little compression on the veins and will just keep the blood flowing. So in theory, will just keep you a little bit fresher for longer. But I think you've got to try it. I think the key thing is you've got to try all these things, whether it's calf sleeves or fueling or whatever, give it a go.
And you've now got time to do it. Now's the time to do it when you're starting, you're doing your training. You don't do it sort of like in the closing stages or, God forbid, on the day.
No, absolutely.
Now's the time to just experiment and have a go at these. I've not used them myself, but, if you've discovered that, you might have an issue in that department, then...
what about you, Si?
To be honest, I've never used them. Nothing like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I use them. I use them on. I use them actually on 18 miles plus, and I use them in similar sort of things. I believe for me they have which is not the right way of saying it, but a fatigue helping element to it. So, as you say, how the blood's pumping through the calves, it's working the same principle in terms of, they put while you wear them on a plane in terms of spinning the blood around your legs a little bit better. So I just find when I'm working on that sort of longer distance, 18 miles and over, I tend to wear them. That's when I really feel that they make a difference to me. I wouldn't wear them if I was just burning out 10K, for example.
Yeah. And they don't have to be expensive either. There's some good quality, low price ones. You can pay silly money, but start cheap, see how you go.
There was some feedback from some of the guys. It's about calf sleeves saying that they find them useful, which is kind of cool. So it does. Oh, where have I gone? Hang on. It tells you I'm trying to do five things at once. I'm muting myself, boys. But yeah, it does. It does. What was I saying? Where am I? I totally lost track. Oh, Wilco's muted. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong.
Yes to calf sleeves.
Well, there's all sorts of instructions going on now.
I don't know what's going on here.
We start again. Hello, everybody.
Welcome everybody to the Long Run Podcast
live stream.
No, what I'm trying to do. There's a comment here, right, that I'm trying to get up, and I don't know, and I'm struggling to get it up because I've just seen it and it's made me laugh, and I've totally forgot what.
I think I know where you're going on this one. I can see it already. Yes.
So, Camman UK, you basically ruined the podcast because I'm going to read this out. And by the way, for the people who, wait for me to make comment about this, it's 32 minutes and 50 seconds. And I'm reading somebody's comment out. This is not
someone else's comment.
So, Camman UK, shouldn't Alan be using vegan sleeves rather than calf? I mean, it's a good one, isn't it? To be fair, have you got a response?
Fair. Not really. Not at this point in time, no.
And are your calf sleeves made from vegan products? Are they vegan friendly? Because I mean,
sustainably sourced, vegan friendly.
Can we verify that?
Well, I can show you them.
No.
We
do not want to see.
Your calf.
They're over there in my cupboard. In my drawer.
No. It's.
I'll put some on tomorrow, shall I?
It's bad enough how quickly this podcast has slipped into complete disarray.
Yeah. Should we try and drag it back and talk about
Let's finish answering the question.
There was a second part to the question.
Yeah, because we haven't even done that yet, and we've basically cocked it right up. Right. So Andy, it wants to know how to run easy. Right. So let's just go back a step. Right, Al. Now I'll tell you what. I'm going to throw this up to New Russell. So, by the way, the reason we've got New Russell and his name's Simon is because the kids on Thursday have been, because obviously Russell's now gone to Wales. So when I introduced Si, I said this is New Russell. So everyone keeps now calling him New Russell. Anyway, Si, how do you run easy?
Well, I would probably say make sure, if you're listening to music, that you're not listening to some sort of music that's really fast tempo, because it'll make you speed up your running. To try and run to slower sort of music to keep your pace down.
Okay, what about you, Wilco?
Well, along that line, I think Andy's obviously, he's been running to the Long Run Podcast, and that's a good way to start. Perhaps we'll try and talk a little bit slower.
To be fair, if I was listening to the Long Run Podcast, I'd probably jump in the river. What's that, Al?
I said you want it over and done with as quickly as possible.
Well, I mean, I'd jump in the river. I think, not being funny. If you've been listening to this and you just hit 32 minutes and listen to that, have you
seen what episode we're on? We're on episode 26. If you did a mile every hour since we started, you'd have nearly done a marathon.
How's that happened? How have we got to 26 episodes of this? I mean, I know we're the biggest running podcast in the world, But how have we got honestly to 26
Not been
episodes?
taken off air.
And London Marathon events have not been in touch yet, so they're clearly not listening to that one.
But I think, I think sort of like listening to spoken word stuff is a good idea. You know, like podcasts, audio books are good. I've done that. That's quite good but just take it easy. Don't worry. You know, if you're getting reminders on your watch about how fast you're going, just ease up and enjoy it. That's the key that I would put. And you can almost sort of like take pride in sort of like kilometers. Oh, I've run that particularly slowly. You know, aim to do it kilometer by kilometer, just as you would if you were trying to pace yourself for a PB. You'd have particular targets that you're going at particular intervals. Do exactly the same, but make them so modest and try and you still get it. Remarkably, I found you still get that sense of achievement if you run slowly and meet your targets as you do when you run fast, particularly when you're training. So just give it a go. Take it easy.
What do you think, Al?
So a couple of points, and I think his name's Andy. He asked the question so long ago, I forgot.
I can't remember. I don't even know what day it is.
And he's absolutely right to identify a common problem for many runners is that we run too fast too often. So if someone's on one of my coaching plans, I'm saying, you know, your long, slow run should be anything up to a minute and a half, perhaps slower than your goal pace. And I know that sounds perverse.
That's per mile then. Al.
Yeah. That sounds really weird when you're trying to run faster to go slower, but it's about building the aerobic base, and it's doing it at that zone 2. And I know we've spoken about zone 2 and heart rate probably on a fair few of these episodes, and I think that's a good place to start. The trouble is you have to start way before your plans. It's not a 6-week thing to get heart rate under control. It's probably 6 months. So whack on the heart rate, set it to zone 2. You'll probably start at walking pace because, you know, your heart rate will shoot as soon as you start trying to nail anything quick. But it's a really good visual sign if you've got heart rate monitor and that's connected into your Garmin rather than your watch to be able to see how slow you have to go to get into that zone 2. And you will speed up, but it's not a quick process. It takes weeks and months. So you couldn't suddenly introduce slow-paced heart rate zone running 6 weeks into a marathon plan. You won't get the benefit. But Al,
building on that, then, if it's going to take you 6 months to get on this heart rate thing and get it all licked, if you are embarking on a 16-week marathon plan, what would your advice to be? Because if you're following sort of like the 80-20 principle, that 80% of the runs that you're doing are going to be at an easy pace, and you're going to put it in for one of your sessions a week. Say if you're doing 5 sessions. So what would your advice? What would your advice be?
I'd come back to the point about, you know, wanting to run fast. So when I targeted my sub 4, I knew I had to increase my average pace, but I did that through the strength tempo work, the speed work. And there's a lot of information out there where people have done the hard graft for you and said, if you want to run 4 hours, this is your race equivalency. So it'll kind of work it back to a half, a 10K and a 5. And then you kind of go, right, that's my base pace. Take a minute and a half off. Slow it down by a minute and a half. And therefore it'll give you some approximations about what you should be doing your long, slow runs at. So there is a little bit of maths involved. And you have to have some of that data to be able to go, where do I want to get to? Work it back and then reset your baseline. And so that's kind of a top-down approach, whereas the building it up over 6 months is more of a bottom-up.
Yeah, if you give it a target time, take it from there.
Yeah, so I haven't got the numbers in my head, but to do my sub 4, working it back, my long, slow runs could be anything from 10.5 to 11-minute miles, and yet on race day you're trying to get at 9:09, so it feels really odd.
He's on the money. He's absolutely everything he said is bang on. Absolutely. There was a question in the Facebook group this week again about heart rate training. Someone was saying that, you know, they're always running wrong. You know, it always seems to be a certain thing. And basically that if you're going to do this sort of training, you need to get a heart rate monitor, right? And you then need, like I've said it before, you need to reset your zones. You need to work with that. You need to do a maxed effort and you need to be setting those zones. You can do something properly with someone like myself or Al on a treadmill, and there's a process that we can do, but you could just do like hang on, we've got a thing there. But yeah, if you then go do or a high effort where you're going to max your heart rate, you can then reset your zones. But it does take a lot of time to nail that in and do it properly. But everything Al said is bang on. I agree with. We've just had a comment come in from Burps. Forgive me if the panel already answered this. For a 5K build up, how long should I? Okay, that was a question. Shows you I'm not really paying attention. Sorry, Burps. We'll come on to that. The only other thing is, as a tip, and again, what Al said's right, and what Wilco said's right. Give yourself a goal of actually running slow. So I will give my clients a goal of running, equal split as slow as you can. So you could walk at any moment and then carry on and you're not out of breath. It's that sort of feeling. But one tip for you, if you can do it, is ring someone while you're running along. It's such a good thing to do, right?
Yeah.
If you've got aftershocks, so your ears are free and you can hear and it's safe, right, people? It is safe to do so. When you're running along, just ring someone up and have a convo with them. Because if you're able to have a convo with them, it will slow you down. You'll also be able to breathe lower down because you're having a talk. So your breathing will be under control and the whole thing will just calm down. It's a really, really easy tip to do, but just make sure it's safe to do. But just, I re-emphasize everything Al said. He's on the money in terms of what he's saying.
Could I just make another point? There's a lad who I work with, and we've got a Strava group at work, and he is around a 3-hour marathoner. So yeah, just under. I think he did 3:05 in Malaga last week, and I pointed people in the direction of look at the difference between his training runs and then the times that he's doing it. If he's doing training runs at sort of like 6-minute kilometers, and then he's banging out 4-minute kilometers in his marathons, and it's a good guide that people can see. If you can see what we could brand as a successful, very good marathon runner is doing, then that gives you an own guide as well, and it gives you a sort of like an area that you want to be looking at, an inspiration that God, this guy runs as fast as I do normally when he's doing his thing, but he's smashing it out because he's doing it.
What he's doing there, Ian, is he's putting distance in each of his gears. If you think of yourself as a car with 5 gears, if we run everything the same, we've got no difference between our gears. So him going super fast and super slow is just putting that differential in. Your body learns to adjust to those different gears, those different paces. But you have to practice it. You have to put in the slow ones. You have to put in the fast ones, because your brain won't just go there and your head won't go there unless your body's talking all the time. And I'm talking about weeks and weeks. Yeah.
It's really, really important that you get that balance, and that you are, as Al says, that you're building your aerobic base. And if you're just going out there and cranking it, and you'll probably be, if you looked at your zones when you were doing that run, you're probably in zone 3. So you're in no man's land. So you're not really doing a high effort. So you're not getting the gains from that. And then you're not in zone 2, so you're not getting the gains from that. You're in no man's land. And that's the key. That is why what Al said, everybody, unless you're like, you've done some work on it, pretty much most people run too fast. I think I've said it before in my training plans. Not that I'm, some amazing runner, but obviously as a coach, I look at my own plan and I'm targeted on what I'm running, when I'm running it, and why I'm running it. So I will deliberately put in, easy pace and low efforts. So they're just banker miles. But I am still building aerobic base, so it's just concentrating that, but I'm not fatiguing myself so that I can then go into a higher effort and really concentrate and work at that higher level. But I'm still gaining miles from the other stuff, and that's the key. Is find that balance. But in terms of, because we have not really answered the question, I think, well, Al, you kind of did, but he was looking for tips on how to slow down. So what you said, Al, to conclude, because it's only taken us 40 odd minutes to add any value, is train a heart rate, but that's going to take you 6 months, so that's not going to help him now. And I've said ring someone. So actually, it should really just go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. If I got that right, because that's basically it, isn't it? We've added no.
It's a 50-50 chance.
I think we're now. Si, if you was Andy, would that have ticked the boxes for you in terms of value add? Be fair.
Well, you gave an answer, but like you say, he ain't gonna be able to do it now. He needs 6 months. Or if you ring
tie
someone,
your shoelaces together, that'll stop you slow going fast.
Yeah.
So put a weighted vest on. That'll make you go slower.
But I am struggling to take you seriously with those antlers coming out of your head. I do again. Anybody on the podcast, I do apologise, but he still has antlers coming out of his head.
I was told to sit here. You told me to sit here.
No, I did.
We requested because we thought it had comedy
Boys,
value, and it has.
I'm going to interrupt the podcast and live stream because it's 7:45.
We've got to open our thing.
We've got to open our thing. So
I need to explain the reason 7:45. I wasn't sure if I was going to get back in time for the start at 7, so we factored in a little bit of delay.
No, he takes such a slack attitude to this. This should be the focus of his week.
Well, I just span it a little bit faster.
He had to get back to the home. He had to have his meds. He had to have his bag emptied. He had to have his jelly and ice cream. And now, finally, we're allowed to open.
Jelly, mate.
By the way, because Tobe's really busy at work, he has just messaged and said, should he open his?
Yes, why not?
That's how busy he is. Right, so
Flat out.
Let's apologise. We seem to apologise every week, Chet, but we apologise for everybody on the podcast. We are actually opening an envelope that says on it, important, open 7:45 today.
Is there a batting order for this, or are we all going together?
No,
at the same
I think
time?
you've got to go on the count of 3 together. And I need to put it in context for the listeners that can't see what you're doing.
Okay.
Obviously, my fueling strategies come into question quite a lot. So I thought best thing to do, put some advice out to the fellow podcasters and see what they can do.
It's nicely wrapped, bro. There's no way
you didn't wrap this.
There's no way. Carolyn, thank you very much for wrapping this, because there's no way that vegan with his fat fingers that get shoved in tofu every night would have been able to do this. There's absolutely no way. By the way, was any animal hurt in making this card?
No. Sustainably sourced, vegan friendly. Yeah, jingle all the way.
I'm holding up the card. It says jingle all the way. Chris, I hope this helps you become a fully paid up vegan runner. I'm a part-time vegan runner, as everybody now knows on this channel. Let's have a look. This is it's better not be vegan. If this is vegan cheese,
I've got.
It's not cheese. No,
if this is vegan cheese out, I'm stopping the podcast now.
And the delights of veganuary.
Yeah. Read it out. Did they catch that? So you've got
what is that?
I'm waiting for mine to drop. I assume my Christmas card is in the post tomorrow.
And the delights of veganuary, it says.
Wilco, what do you get?
I've got a Simply Red CD.
Go on, show everyone.
I've got a book for the podcast listeners, The Little Book of Veganism by Eleanor, big shout out.
Yeah,
why didn't you send this to us for free?
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much, Al.
And Thanks, Al. Podcast listeners, he sent me some mucky chocolate bar. That can do one.
But, vegan chocolate, no
more.
Al, they might want to sponsor us in future.
Oh, I'll get it back. Hang on.
Al, I've got to say, I've had some of these.
Yeah.
I've been trying them in Tesco. Yeah, I quite like them.
I'm going to do an on the pod test.
I just feel terrible that New Russ can't join in.
I know, I'm just sitting here. I've got no parcel, nothing.
Russ, don't worry.
Don't worry. You can have FORDYs when you see him on Tuesday.
Are you going to bring me a chocolate for tomorrow? Bring me one tomorrow.
So, podcast listeners, I'm now eating some of this mucky chocolate.
And they'll be reading up the delights of veganism and how to become a better vegan whilst we're off the air.
Called the Nomo.
Over the Christmas break.
I've got salted caramel or just caramel.
You're not liking that, Chris? No, not good.
I'm a fan. I like this.
So, I'd have gone with 50-50. One winner, one loser.
I've had a few of these.
Yeah.
I saw it in Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available.
You know what that's like? That's like that cake you made me eat. It's not all that. So,
your taste buds will adjust.
Right. Look,
give it a few more. Look, Ian's on it. He's tried a few. His taste buds and now taste buds.
Two things.
And now adjusting.
Two things, boys. It's a serious point. Two things. Nomu, get in touch. Sponsor the show. Second thing, Huel, our friends at Huel, not sponsored yet. They heard, or they saw my Instagram post about their mucky chocolate flavour. Well, you know what they've done? They've shipped me out a brand new set of new flavours, boys.
And guess what? That's vegan friendly, that Huel.
That's why I have it. I'm a part-time vegan. I keep telling you out. I don't muck about with these things.
I just want to make another point about the about sponsorship. Our friends who tried to sponsor us from Manscaped.
Oh, yeah.
Well, other podcasts are available on all sorts of different subjects. And I was listening to a football one from The Athletic, which is the very highbrow football podcast that do 2,000 word articles on blokes who run the ticket office in some football match and things like that, all sorts of stuff. Listening to one of those, and it was interrupted halfway through by a Manscaped advert.
Oh, I deleted the
taking the
email
money.
from what's his face. Again, what was his name? I have to listen back to it. I'll have to go back that and see but we won't sell out, boys. We're not selling out. We're not unless you're Huel
No.
or Nomu. We're not selling out. But Wilco, don't tell him. But I'll go back see what they offer. All about veganism. Donald Watson, founder of the Vegan Society, coined the term vegan in 1944. He said the word represented the beginning and the end of the vegetarian. So he's anti-vegetarian. Is that what he's saying? Donald Watson.
Is there
Anyway,
if I'm going to get into this vegan lark out, am I going to have to go to war with vegetarians?
No.
I
I think there's a serious point is that you can transition slowly.
Boys, can I make a serious point? This is a running podcast. We're the highest rated running podcast in the world. And all we're doing is Wilco shoving his face. He's put the whole bar in. Al's pretending to read, but Al, we know you can't read with those glasses on.
I've got my own copy, see, so I know what you're saying. I'm checking up on you.
So we're actually not talking about running again.
I was looking for some comment that might reference about fueling and making us run faster, but it's tucked away somewhere.
Oh, Tobe's in. He's just sent in because we know how busy he is.
Breakfast and brunch. There you go.
Tobe got the creamy choc bar. Now, how can it be a creamy bar, Al, when you're not allowed cream?
Well, you can have coconut as a substitute.
It's not the
same.
Sorry, I'm not having that. Anyway,
fabulous fruit salads, page 35.
Let's
Perfect
get
page 37.
I can mute you. I've got the production suite. I can mute you. Right, I'm going to go back because we've got another email. And then, you know what, boys? We're 52 minutes and we actually haven't asked Russell or Simon a single question. Wilco, you in terms of your leadership, I find the thing. You talk to new Russ.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to Russ out. Now, is this your big debut? It's not your big debut, 40 debut, is it tomorrow? How many 40 events?
No, I've done a couple of them. Not many, a couple, a couple.
So how did you chance upon the...
Ian, he ran up Snowden.
Well, basically, my missus was going to the FORDY group and then she said, they're doing this run up Snowden. Why don't you do it? So I sort of got talked into it, did it. And then next thing I know, I was going on a Tuesday to Hertford and doing a few other bits.
We had a lovely... it wasn't the first week that I managed to break your lights, was it?
Yeah,
it was second week.
My
so near enough.
Size 10 planted on his lights, and
just remember.
And I felt even worse when he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I borrowed them off my missus."
Yeah, she was well happy about that.
And I felt awful. But it's lovely to have you along, mate. And we hope that you're getting as much out of the group as we're getting out of you coming along on a Tuesday. We had a cracking run on. That was the best session we've had in ages.
No, that was hilarious. Really good.
Toby came out with this. Well, we'll give him a bit of credit because we did give him a bit of
No. Sorry, Wilco. Don't give that boy any credit for anything. He's just crashed a milk float through some railings.
Despite crashing a milk float through railings, we had a group run where somebody was in charge for 4 minutes at the front and could just go off in any direction. And we just followed him around Hertford.
We ended up in a graveyard.
Yeah, we had a graveyard run.
Ended up in a dead end.
Dead end, graveyard.
Yeah, we ended up in a car park.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was all going. But to be fair, the sessions are fun. So, it is important that we re-emphasise. And actually, you know what? Big shout out to all the satellite clubs. Big shout out to all the satellite clubs because the pictures that have been coming through from you guys this week have been incredible from all the Christmassy stuff that you've been doing. So mad love to all the satellite clubs out there who have been out there smashing it this past week ahead of Christmas. And I think a lot of them are coming tomorrow, actually, or some of them are. But big shout out to all the satellite groups who've been really trying, to keep people motivated and connected. And so if you've not been along to one of them, go along because they're just awesome. And actually, that's a point. We've got something coming for the community, for the club, for the new year. That we always do in January. You know, like I can't remember what we called it before, but that's coming. We've got a date in mind with everybody get connected up and all that kind of stuff. But I'm kind of been holding off because of what's going on in the world, and I just want everybody to be sensible. So we'll play that by ear for now. Maybe we do something virtual or whatever, but I just want everyone to be safe, and you know, with all this nonsense that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we was planning to do something. But yeah, big shout out to the satellite groups. I know obviously ours
Yeah,
doing
they've been
some.
having a great time. It's a good fancy dress as well. And are we fancy dressing tomorrow?
Yeah, I've got my Santa suit here, bruv. Well, I can't be bothered to get it, but yeah, and apparently, hot news, Tobe's got something.
Ooh.
Now, Tobe's been.
Oh, I believe that when I see it.
He's been all secret. Now, this is the man who wouldn't wear a hat for the jingle job, right? But apparently, he has got something. Now, knowing Tobe, he's probably sitting there laughing to himself. I'm really funny because I've not told anyone. Or you know what he's like? He's like a little boy. He's got something, and I'm guessing that he's probably bought something that's either to. Oh, hold tight. Is that gin and tonic? Sorry.
It is actually.
You're an athlete. You're meant to be running tomorrow. What sort? Anyway, he's got something that's probably either going to be too big for him, it's either going to be too hot for him, or it's going to be so badly put together that it's going to rip and he's going to be running along in his underpants. So I can get he would have sourced this without thinking about it, and whatever he's wearing. So let us know in the comments. I know we've only got a couple of minutes left. Let us know in the comments what you think Tobe's coming as tomorrow. And it's not the Grinch. He told me it's not the Grinch because I couldn't handle that. But he's not coming as a Grinch. It's something else. Apparently, he even said something about 3 legs. So
What on earth is he on
Are you
about?
coming out to play tomorrow, Al?
Yeah. Well, I say that after 3 hours boot camping and 2.5 hours spinning, I think I might be towel walking at the back. It could be a bit of a interesting
I'll just walk around and come and have a good time.
technique. But yeah, no, I'll be there. I got my red shirt. And don't worry, Chris, we've got a plan B for Toby. If somehow he manages to lose his outfit on the tube, there is a plan
he's not
B.
going tube. I'm chauffeur driving him.
Well, make sure he packs it because we don't want him turning up without it. But there is a plan B. Don't worry.
Oh, good, because I'm worried that we want to ridicule him as much as possible. I was tempted to bring the mechanic along who's got to fix his car, but I thought that'd be a bit strong. Run along with him and show him. Actually, no, we won't show the video again because it'll bring tears to his eyes if he watches this back. But yeah, so are you wearing fancy dress?
Hat maybe.
That's a bit,
I haven't had the time to sort anything out. I've been busy.
No.
Why don't you take those antlers that you've been had over your
Yeah,
head
wear
all the
them.
time?
Strap
People
into
will
my
know
back.
you then. They'll say, oh, yeah, you're the bloke with the antlers on
You're
you.
the geezer off the podcast with the antlers.
Yeah.
I
You
can't
could do
plug them in.
that.
I couldn't plug them in though. That's the problem.
You have to make your mark in this group, mate. People have to remember you for something like this. You need a stunt.
We've got. I don't think we've got time, have we, boys? We've got another. We didn't do that other email I said about.
I will save it up till the new year.
Yeah, it was. So let me just give him a shout out. So I'm just trying to find it. Jamie Webb. Jamie, we love you. Thank you. We will. But first part of the email, right? First found the podcast while I was running the Royal Parks half marathon. Saw FORDY running with a selfie stick and didn't realise till after. But there you go. So the advertising on the back of the shirts works, boys, because on the back of that shirt I was running in landmarks. It had. It's not on this one, but this is, by the way. What do we think? This is one of the new. This is the test thing, the Quality Street ones.
Very glam.
So it's all different colours. Look, have a look at my back. Look.
Oh, look at it.
So it's like all the sweets, all different sweets. So like you got the toffee, and you got the pinky one. You got that one. You got that one. I haven't put the orange on it because I can't stand the orange one out of principle. Al wouldn't know because he's not allowed to eat orange chocolate. But the orange in the Quality Street, you just don't eat it. It's like eating vegan chocolate. Like that stuff is just trying to force me.
I remember what it was like. I've got a little memory.
Fond memories.
Oh, but anyway, yeah. So he saw the thing on the back of the shirt. So we
maybe people will actually do the run tomorrow while listening to us banging on.
I'll be honest with you. Don't bother. Don't listen to this one. I would say it's our lowest point. But in that middle at 32 minutes, when basically I forgot what we was all talking about, and we haven't
When I
really,
press the mute button.
and we haven't really talked much about running. We haven't had a good convo with the guest. We haven't really done
the lightning round.
We haven't even done the lightning round. So, I mean,
we can only say, folks, that we will endeavour to make it a better listen in 2022.
but we keep saying that every week. We keep saying that every week, Wilco. But the viewing numbers keep going up with the largest podcast in the running podcast in the world.
It's funny that the less we talk about running, the more listeners we get. It's an inverse relationship there.
We should start talking about like anything. Just, you know what? What's the email address, Wilco?
longrunShow@gmail.com.
Just send anything you want us to talk about. It don't matter what it is. Relationship advice.
Something random. We'll talk about anything.
You know, how to get antlers out of your head. What's it like being really old and living in a home? How to fix a 50 grand motor that you just smashed up. Anything you want, send that into whatever that is.com, and we'll get onto it because we
are going to be here for your delectation on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I've got to say that I think the Christmas Eve episode is a real good one, actually. And I'm not just saying it to the thing. It's a treat. You'll enjoy it. Yeah, so, this is the last live broadcast that we're going to have for 2021. We've got a couple of offerings, though, looking back on the year and looking forward to next year that we'll put out on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. And then we'll be back live, taking your questions, ignoring your emails, and doing all the usual sort of stuff once we come back in the new year. So,
do we think Tobe's going to come back in the new year, boys?
Well, the way I see it, after the new year, it's the opening of the January transfer window. So we might want to think about
do we
keep in the squad and getting rid of a bit of dead wood.
Yeah, do we keep
IT?
Well, the thing is, he can't be good, and he can't be bothered to turn up each week.
Sounds like you're perfect.
I'm thinking, new Russ, have you ever crashed in an electric car?
No, I wouldn't buy one.
Right. New Russ, have you ever run up a mountain in shorts?
No.
New Russ, do you consume your body weight and ours body weight in McDonald's and KFC on a weekly basis?
No.
You got the job. I mean, it's a perfect, as you say, it's a massive upgrade. He doesn't look like he's going to fall apart a lot at the last minute. His background, let's be honest, where he's operating is a much better. I know he's got antlers out of his head. Sorry, I've run on the podcast, but you know what Tobe sits behind that rubbish tip that he can't be bothered to paint. I mean, I just think it's a massive upgrade. So let us know. Send an email in.
We'll have to have a look at the budget for squad enhancements over the next couple of weeks and see what we got in the bank and see maybe we can get the folks at Manscaped perhaps give us a few quid and we might be able to.
Good point. I'm going to find that email.
So what I'd like to say is now we've gone 63 minutes. I don't know how you've lasted this long. I don't know how we've lasted this long, but here we are. So thanks ever so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible at the Olympic Park tomorrow, Saturday morning. We'll stay safe, but that doesn't mean
it's a tube strike. So add a little bit of time on your journey.
Yeah, bear that in mind. Yeah, everything seems to be conspiring against us, but I'm sure
we'll get there.
We will get there and we'll have a good time. So please take care if you're out running and look after yourselves. Have a brilliant Christmas, but please join us on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. We'll be listening in thinking, oh God, that was terrible. I can't believe I said that. It was awful. But, we've got high hopes that you'll enjoy it anyway. So thanks ever so much. If you've not been able to catch us on the live stream, remember, we're on the podcast. You can get us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your pods. We'll be there. Long Run. Send us your emails at longrunshow@gmail.com. And we shall see you very soon.
Thank you very much, everyone. Everybody have a great Christmas. I hope to see as many of you as you can tomorrow, but be safe. I'll see you later. I'm now going to press a button that will hopefully give us the closing credits, boys. Watch out. I'm going to try it now. You ready? Hold tight. Here we go.
Cheers, everybody.
Is Caroline watching?
Cheers.
Bye.